It's a beautiful day here in Southeast Alaska. At the boatyard where we just got a survey for our 1980s steel hull 50-foot sailboat that we decided to purchase.
Alright, so it's definitely official. I bought the boat. I'll go over what I paid for it and what the survey said and some other things in this video. But first and foremost, when I first seen the boat, I knew it was kind of rusty. That was kind of the first things I wanted to get looked at. The deck is non-teak. There's no teak on the deck, so it's all steel. The steels to me is way better than teak or a glass deck or a wood core deck. The differences are just pretty much wrought. I can get different types of wrought, but it's a little bit sturdier. The survey, so I had it electronically surveyed. I had the hull tested. The most loss was 0.003 and 0.001. There were some areas where it had expanded because they, over the rust, but it was like 8.5 mils. So I'd have to grind down those areas to see where it is. And in a later video, you'll actually see where I grind down all the rust and, sand the paint down. I sand the bottom, do the bottom paint and paint the sides of the boat and do all that. It's definitely a job. Lots of space up here. The boat is pretty big for what I'm used to. Like I said, I've never sailed anywhere. I'm usually work on the stuff. I don't actually captain it or sail on it. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the boat. As for the survey, the surveyor said, all in all, everything worked as it should. We actually started it up and drove it here to Air Marine. I drove it, as any new buyer would. I'd want to see how everything worked. All the navionics kind of worked. There was some in the back that didn't, some in the front that did. Just little stuff like that. A lot of the ropes and lines and rigging and stuff needs a little bit of work, but other than that, it's a pretty solid boat. The sails and everything, the rigging was all done in 2017. It all looks good. I don't know if you can look down here. It's not too bad, but it could be better, but it's also not been worked or sailed. No miles been put on this boat. This boat was actually built here in Canada, not too far, in 1988. Per the survey, we've seen all that stuff. It hasn't really went anywhere. It's kind of stayed in these local waters. And I was kind of looking, I wanted a steel sailboat, mainly for the durability. Kind of can hit something. You don't have to worry about a lot more of the stuff that you would. I'm in here in Alaska, a lot more logs, ice. I want to go further north, kind of do the Northwest Passage maybe. And it's just an ideal boat for that type of situation. It's large. It can house me and my girl, our pets. We can go anywhere we want, really. It's got it's kind of perfect for what I wanted. It's got a pilot house. No anchor locker for a steel boat. It's got an external anchor winch. Lots of little stuff. It's got plenty of deck space. That's kind of everything I wanted. I wanted something bigger. I didn't want glass, really. I was looking at certain stuff. So I was like, you got your pros and cons with, buying like a newer glass or I'd say a production boat. you get what you pay for, I guess. You get all new amenities and stuff, but the insides are like, the inside of this boat is completely solid wood. It's really good quality stuff. Anything newer was way more expensive than what I paid for this, and I'll get into that in a whole minute. And I just don't think the quality was there. So now, talking about like what I paid for this, I paid $46,000 for this boat, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, a bad thing. It came with lots of stuff. It definitely needs some work, but it was listed for $99,000. I definitely talked them down a lot, but it is perfect for me, what I wanted to do. I was looking at like 349s, or pretty much 35, 40 foot Jeanots or Benettos, anything in that range, any year. And those minimum, $120,000, $160,000. It just wasn't really ideal for, that much money. And then you have to buy like the dinghy motor, life raft. You have to buy a lot of stuff. So me buying this boat for $40,000 allowed me to then spend 80, 90, 100 grand making this however I wanted it. And now I don't plan on spending that at all right away, or maybe even ever, but it's kind of, you have the option, because the entry price is still much less. Maybe I'm stuck with it forever. Maybe I get rid of it, and you never know what happens. People have dreams and get rid of stuff all the time. This could be the same thing, but you never know. But as for the surveyor, it was appraised value. I think I have it right here, if I can pull it up. The appraised value, I'll see if you can read that. Estimated replacement value, well, it says $925,000, and then estimated market value would be $95,000. So right now they say it's worth $95,000, and if you wanted to replace this equivalent boat in a boat yard today, brand new, it would be about $1 million, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time, it's a lot of steel, it's a lot of craftsmanship, it's a lot of stuff that goes into this. The guy that I have receipts in the boat, the guy that purchased this before it sat forever, paid $160,000. And then he spent $40,000 on all the standing rigging and the sails. He's got a bunch of sails. So, and then, he bought a bunch of stuff. There's lots of extra paints and a lot of stuff that he probably didn't need. Probably, $5,000 in paint that he didn't even need. But on top of like what I thought of value-wise for this boat is it's got a lot of extras. It's got a lot of jack lines and life vests. It's got a lot of stuff that I've seen value in. It had a lot of tools, a lot of brand new stuff. I got Dyson vacuum, 2 Garmin Navionics systems, plenty of electronics. It's just not ran well, or not really. Some of the stuff was like, good equipment was bought, but just the execution was very poor. And that's kind of something we want to change. So I would say I got a clean bill of health. One thing that was kind of rough with this boat, and I'll be kind of honest with everybody, is insurance. Insurance on a steel boat was very hard to get, but it is what it is. It's it's kind of something I wanted. It's not something I've foreseen. So I do have a 3-year plan with this boat. I plan on, I'm using this right now currently as a liveaboard. Well, not currently, obviously, but when it goes back in the water, we're going to use it as a liveaboard here in Ketchikan. I work here in Ketchikan, so does my girlfriend. We're going to use it as a liveaboard, fix it up, and then at the end of our work contracts, we're going to move on northward with it and see kind of where that takes us. This is kind of why this was the perfect thing to do it with. It's, you know, rent here's pretty expensive. This is much cheaper than rent, especially because you own it at the end of the day. And it being from Alaska makes a lot of things beneficial, and you know, there's just a lot of things with it that makes it beneficial for us. This is kind of where we've been for the last few months. Just taking it in, waiting for the purchasing process, and doing what we can. Now it's the cleanup. Give you a quick peek of in here. I don't know if you can see it here. It's pretty dark. It's a mess down there. You don't want to go down there. I don't want to turn on the power. But alright, thanks guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this little video of my shenanigans and probably the worst financial decision I've ever made. But thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and let me know if it was worth watching.